SillyTavern using userland instead of tmux. I found that this one's more familiar for me. I've used it before. tmux I think is getting old, at least in the Google Play Store. This one has newer repos as far as I can tell, but I might be mistaken. So this is the one I was using for UI stuff. It's a bit crashy. They have a paid version for Debian, and it seems to just kind of crash when you start getting into using it as a real desktop. The browser will crash or whatever else will crash, and is trying to install like kernel modules. And I don't have root or ADB, which is escalated privileges, on a phone, so it might be some of that. But this is what I do for a limited user environment when I don't have admin, and the only thing I can do is install Google Play apps. So we're pulling in the file system. If you're on whatever, if you haven't downloaded this, the actual image file, the root file system, it will take a while to download first, and then it'll take a while to extract. So we've already downloaded it here, and it's just sitting in there. So it just went straight to setting up the file system. But normally this would take an extra minute or two to pull down, even from like a 5G. And to be fair, I have not tried this on tmux. All right, let's see what we got. So we have our little shell. We're going to go to SU. And then I had issues with path. I think too long of paths for a while. So I just went to the root folder, and I'm doing it in root. It's not actually root, but it's all in a virtualized environment. So we're going to show you the scripts that we're about to run. IKS. No. And then we're going to go to HTTPS. /scripts /SillyTavern sh. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at this. Oh, looks like I got it wrong. .com scripts SillyTavern. Forgot the N. Okay, so this is what it is. You use this curl to download the installer. Then Node.js installs Git, pulls down clones the SillyTavern repo, and then goes to the SillyTavern folder and then starts it up. So this is most of the setup here. Installing a newer version of Node is the hard, kind of complicated part to do. So we're just going to pipe this like a true hacksaw. We're going to pipe it straight to, where's the pipe? To bash. So on like a wireless connection, this will take a little bit quicker, but we're on 5G. It's going to take a second. So while it's pulling stuff down, this is kind of a setup file for Node.js to essentially install Node.js for you magically. The other piece that it does is pulls down the Git app, and then also we'll pull down the repo for SillyTavern, whatever the latest one is. And then it will run the installer, and then it will start up the server here for us in just a sec. So now we're actually installing Node.js and all its dependencies. Here's inode sources. This is 2.0. You could probably go down. They said the minimum version is like 14, I want to say. But you don't want to go. You want to try to run the latest, greatest. And then if you start having issues, and work backwards from there, generally speaking. So this is all dependencies for Node.js, just basic Node.js. Now we've gotten that finished up. Now we're pulling down the SillyTavern repo. And again, if you're on Wi-Fi, this would be a little bit quicker. Originally what would happen is I'd be in a folder like SD card SD card download and then another SillyTavern folder, and it would error out saying, you know, some kind of pack file couldn't be downloaded. And I couldn't figure out what the problem was. It said something about permissions and network. And I said, something's going on. And I said, you know what, I'll bet this thing has weird paths in it. And I'm maximizing the amount of, you know, path links, or creating some kind of path issue or read-write issue within trying to write to the download folder, because it's mounted slightly differently than just everything in here. So everything is kind of its own a virtual thing. When you're doing writing to the download folder, that is an actual folder on the phone, and there might be some permission issues there, like flagging something as executable or whatever. So I just went straight to the root, and we got it running, listening on that board. I'm going to go to SillyTavern local, and it's port 8000 by default here. And I do have a, we're going to just fill out the basic user information. I do have a 11 Labs account, but that's expensive. I'll probably end up using something like the real voice cloner. I do have a Horde key, but I'm not going to give that, guys, to you. You can run stable Horde for a couple of weeks and get basically unlimited tokens. I'm just going to pick a random one here. That's the model you're picking, and I'm using the Horde Horde for this. Oops, sorry about that. And I'll turn on auto connect. And the next piece I'll configure is the plugins. And you can use system, but I'm thinking of using the I want to say it's Kokukai. That will let you use RTS. Or no, I think I'm going to end up using, yeah, I guess Kokukai for the real whatever. So first you go and enable narrate user messages. I think I leave all this blank. I'm still kind of playing around with this. It's kind of funny. So available voices. There's not a lot of male voices in here with the Android system. But like, for example, this one's a male voice. So I don't know. So you could do, you know, English, whatever for one. So we're going to go ahead and set up a quick group chat here. Do a group, empty group. I'm going to put Cat and Svina in here. These are the default allow self, and then I click the checkbox here, and now we have a new chat set up. And we'll check this. We got 2 messages in here. Now we're going to turn basically configure the text-to-speech default voice user, and then each user is separated out, I guess, by each thing. So we're say default voice will be mostly female for Android. I haven't been able to find an actual way to do an engine, so if you know a way to change the engine, whatever. So here's a male voice, but it's a different language. There's a few of them in here. I mean, you can go through the available voices, but they're all non-English speaking. So you'd have to, you know, figure out a way to either get an engine on Android or, you know, just use PC. They say that the one inside of Edge is actually pretty good. All right, so we're set up with the voices being different, right? And then we're going to go ahead and, okay, let's flex the cat. So we're going to do Safrina. I don't really know how to pronounce it. And like I said, this is using the you know, not even a Horde key. So it's pretty quick, considering. Which makes sense because, you know, it does take a lot of memory to load up some of these models, but it's fairly quick to spit it out. The images are different. It requires I think a fair amount more of cycles to run it. So we should get Svina saying something here in a second in a default voice, which is usually female Android voice, which isn't terrible. It's not great either. Give me just a second. Kill all this stuff. Wow, we're still waiting. Maybe I should have put my key in here.
have a habit of playing
Here we
with
go.
toys that it hunts
Very
down
thick
or
accent.
stalks around. It can also be a curious. It would observe
this is
you
the
from afar,
only male
pretending
voice
to be
kind of available
interested in other things,
with the Google.
while being wary of you and seems to be a bit feisty as well. If it says Mitze, it would try to hunt down the little creatures. Fluxduke
So we'll
also
do-
seems to
was it-
sleep quite a lot, preferring to
What's
nap
the
more
cat? So we'll
often than
switch to-
interact with. Fluxduke seems to have been quite well trained. There is no doubt that it can perform certain tricks. If you wish Fluxduke to perform tricks, simply give it rewards or treats. Fluxduke did seem to enjoy tuna in particular.
Yeah, I can't even hardly understand.
Actions. Serafina remains ever present
here's
in the
the
background, a
regular
gentle reminder of how far
Google
both
voice.
Flux and yourself have come since those perilous encounters. Her subtle interventions leave little
Anyways,
doubt in how grateful
that's pretty
she
much
is
it.
for your and Flux's burgeoning camaraderie. With a wave of
Let
her
me know if
hand,
you can find
she
any other
occasionally
local
bestows fragrant
engines
blossoms
or
upon you.